And standing by to further discuss the matter of the schoolgirl's abduction with me is Professor Ishaq Akintola of the Muslim Rights Concern. Also with us in the studio is Kaamil Kalejaiye. He is the president of the Muslim Students Society of Nigeria. Thank you, sirs, for joining us on TVC News.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Now, this is for both of you. Perhaps we'll start with the professor. I understand that quite a number of Muslims have been expressing strong disapproval of Boko Haram's activities in Nigeria. But quoting copiously from the Quran now, there's a portion that says, "Fight and slay the pagans wherever ye find them, and seize them, beleaguer them, and lie in wait for them in every stratagem." Now, sirs, is this a subtle license for Muslims to go after them? What are your thoughts? Professor, you go first.
The verse you just quoted is quoted out of context. It should be properly interpreted. It is pagans who attack the Muslims, because the earlier verse, which is in Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran chapter 2, verses 190 to 193, already instructs Muslims not to fight, except those who fight them. So we are talking of Boko Haram. We're not talking of pagans. So the verse you cited now is out of question. It doesn't arise. We are talking of what is the attitude of Muslims to Boko Haram now. We are saying Boko Haram is haram. We are saying we reject the abduction of innocent girls. We reject the killing of people in places of worship, whether in the church, whether in the mosque. Muslims don't do that. Boko Haram does it. Muslims respect women. Boko Haram doesn't respect women. Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said we should train our daughters and treat them properly and marry them off with dignity. Boko Haram is selling off women, is threatening to sell girls abducted. Abduction is criminal. Kidnapping is criminal. No decent man.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah. That's a woman
yeah. As mentioned by the Prof, the verses are quoted out of the context. When this verse was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the non-believers were very hostile to the Muslim. As you learn the history of Islam, the Prophet and the Sahaba were expelled from the Mecca. Even before the expulsion, they were boycotted for some time, that there no economic activity between the pagans and the Muslims. Indeed, if we are compared to the situation that we don't have such situation now. The situation we have is some people, we can call it deviant Muslim, people have been associated with Islam. Boko Haram have no association with Islam. It is not related with Islam. Their activities are totally against the injunction of Islam. Going further, in the last purported tip read by Sheikh, he said that they are being forced to be Muslim. In Islam, Quran chapter 2, verse 256, there shall not be compulsion in religion. You cannot force somebody to be a Muslim. We show that they are even acting against the content of Quran, against the injunction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, I want to plead with the media that they should dissociate Boko Haram from Islam. They should see them as stated whatever. They should never be associated with Islam. They killed Muslims in the church. They killed Sheikh Albani in Zaria. They killed Muslim leaders. They killed most of the people that are being killed. They were Muslim. Why have you associated them with Islam? We've never learned the history of the Muslim that Muslims were killing themselves. No. And also in the present world, no Muslim can even kill anybody, because no other country, no place in the world where Sharia have been practiced in totality. It's when Sharia is, if I agree that I want the judgment of Allah to rule over my life, you agree, both of you agree in the same community. That's how Sharia is coming to be. I cannot say I'm the governor, I want to implement Sharia on the no. That should be will
but hold on there. How do you explain, certain aspects of the historical development of Islam in which, those who were carrying out those religious wars forcefully converted people to Islam?
No, I challenge you. Bring a proof. Give a written proof, empirical proof to that. There's no way in the issue of Islam where non-Muslims were being forced to be Muslim. Let's go further. In our community here,
I'd like Prof to also respond to that. Okay. Prof, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's me? Yes. Those who converted in areas where the Muslims are occupied, converted out of, they converted of their own free will. In Egypt, for instance, where the Muslims entered in 641 CE, it was the emperor of Rome, the Byzantine emperor from Rome, who was in charge of Egypt before. And the people of Egypt were complaining bitterly of tyranny, of overtaxation. Go into the books of history. They wrote letters of complaints to the Muslims in Medina, to the Khalifa, to come and bail them out of enslavement. And that was why the Muslims came to Egypt in 641, and they were able to occupy Egypt. And of course, they did not tyrannize the people. They did not convert them forcefully. They allowed them, they gave them freedom of religion. And those who converted later they converted because they saw the compassion in Islam, and they saw that Islam had given them freedom.
All right, Prof. If you agree that they converted willingly, is there a mischief among Islamic scholars then, especially in the light of the fact that there is a consensus amongst Islamic scholars that the concept of jihad will always include armed struggle? You take that first.
Okay. First of all, in the community, we must understand the concept of jihad. Jihad means struggle. I can do jihad with my soul. I struggle against my soul, against immorality. That's where jihad stands from. Jihad does not necessitate armed struggle. I can do jihad without armed struggle. You understand? When there is hostility, when there is hostility, we are in an Islamic environment. For example, now, let's say in Saudi Arabia, now let's assume that they are using Islamic Sharia, and some hostilities from non-believers outside the country. That's when armed struggle comes. That's not the first thing. The first that's not the first thing.
Hostility
from
the outside, then there is armed struggle.
No, there is non-Muslim hostility. The first thing is discussion. We have a discussion. Why are you hostile to us? You try to solve it amicably. When they differ, okay, these are the terms of settlement, let's settle it. When that don't fails, that is when despite that somebody extend aggression against me, the first thing, I took up my arms. Now what Islam said, the first thing, you have a discussion. Why are you fighting me? Why are you committing aggression against me? Then when that one breaks down, he still insists. Then that's why I need to change him. That's when armed struggle comes in. Armed struggle is not the first thing. If you read the history of Islam, armed struggle is actually the last resort. As I mentioned earlier, that the first thing is, at the point in time, the Muslims were boycotted. The pagans boycott the Muslims. They not engage in economic activity. Can you imagine that you are in Lagos and say, no, we are going to engage in economic. There is nowhere to buy food, nowhere to buy clothing material. They will stand this for over 10 years.
All right.
They move out to Medina, also just to exercise the peace of Islam. It's after Medina. Right. They now another hostility now. That was when armed struggle started. The first 20 years of Islam, there is no armed hostility. If you read the Islamic history very well, it's after 20 years they get to Medina. That's when hostility started.
Began. Now, Prof, I'd like you to take that. Also, bearing in mind that doesn't this subtly encourage physical struggle? Unfortunately, we lost the Prof there. Okay, but finally, as we coast home gradually, what are Muslim scholars doing, to stem the tide in extremist teachings that are reportedly springing up even now in the southwestern part of Nigeria?
Basically, the Muslim scholars are preaching pristine Islam. However, if you look at this Boko Haram, it has more than mere the eye. There are a lot of dimensions into it. For example, for me, I would say those Boko Haram, they are not Muslims. Because they are doing so against the ethics of Islam. Scholars that are preaching Islam, they were killing them. Which shows that they are not Muslims. They have nothing to do with Islam. They are just claiming to tarnish the image of Muslims. And just as some fifth columnists such that they want to tarnish the image of Islam, someone to create chaos in Nigeria. That is why they are sponsoring Boko Haram. They are attaching it to religion. Anything to say Islam said it, Islam terrorists, they killed it. Look at northern part of Nigeria. We can safely say that the majority are Muslims.
What are Muslim associations doing to check these teachings?
What we are doing is we are preaching the pristine Islam. For my own organization, for example, we have several programs that we preach the right trainings for secondary school students. We do spiritual development, economic development, human capacity development. That's what we do. Similar, a lot of Muslim organizations. You can't just call Boko Haram. Have you seen any place they are preaching Islam publicly? Nobody has met them physically.
Back on the line.
All other Muslims, they are preaching Islam in the mosque, in the house, in the community. You can see them.
All right.
Prof
is back on the line. Prof, would like you to respond to the consensus among jihad scholars, Islamic scholars, that jihad will always include armed struggle.
Jihad will include armed struggle where Muslims are attacked. Jihad in the real sense is self-discipline. Jihad is fight against corruption. Jihad is the cleaning up of all the woes of the world. It is not about tyranny against the people. It is not about stealing. Jihad is self-discipline. Jihad is fight against corruption, and that misconception should you remove all the wrong ideas people have been having about jihad from time.
But Prophet, in a world where there are so many unequals now, isn't it a very apt backdrop that will encourage violent conflict?
What is encouraging violent conflict? It is justice that is the soul of peace. People who want justice. You see, I hear people talking about peace, peace, peace. We want peace, we don't want peace. Nobody's talking about justice. Remember what Patosh said? Everybody's talking about peace. Nobody wants justice. If we don't give justice, if we don't give people justice, if we don't treat people fairly, if there's no good governance, if people are overworked, overtaxed, if their take-home pay will not take them home, then there can be no peace. It's not about jihad. It's not about the Muslims. Look around the world. Wherever you find, you see, wherever you find smoke, there is fire. Something started, whatever crisis you find yourself in, something must have started it. Look at the men in the Niger Delta. Why did the Niger Delta militants start fighting? Is it not because the Nigerian government was corrupt? Was it not because they were maltreating the people of the Niger Delta? Their water was undrinkable. Their land no longer arable. Was it not because of the bastardization of the environment over there? So jihad is not limited. Fighting is not limited to Muslim circles. Kidnapping is not limited to Muslim circles.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Just before you go, what would be your final words, especially to the sect, concerning the plight of those girls?
My final word is the fact that even during the state of war, Islam denied us that said that we should not attack women and children. They should release the girls unconditionally. They are weaker parts of the society. They should not be exploited. Boko Haram has been exploited, the weaklings in the society. They should not be exploited. They should release them unconditionally. And I know this for federal government for negotiating with them, basically because they are criminals. They should be dealt with in criminal ways. And in this age of technological development, they can be pinpointed where they are. They can be pinpointed where even ordinary Google Map, you use Google Map and some technology, you can, okay, this situation, we are mentioned Sambisa Forest, Sambisa has coordinates, have latitude, have log, have bearing. It can be located on the map. When they look around the movement, what is moving around the environment. So they can track them and then hold them there. This world we are in, there is no place for hiding. They should release those girls unconditionally. Unconditionally.
That's the point where we'll have to leave it. We'll have to thank you profusely. We've been speaking with Mr. Kaamil Kalejaiye. He's the President, Muslim Student Society of Nigeria. And of course, not forgetting Professor Ishaq Akintola, who is of the Muslim Rights Concern.